I still got it.
You look like you practicing for a sitcom intro.
Boy, hush.
You gonna trip over my rug.
Then you gonna catch me, right?
We'll see.
Yo, what's good, Trouble?
Hey, big head.
I've been thinking. I'm gonna take you out.
Need some love too.
Oh yeah? You finally ready to spoil me?
I'm gonna start acting like.
As y'all know, I've been running into a lot of memory. I'm the IT person, but I'm always dealing with some memory issues because I don't want to delete nothing. And you know, the cloud only does so much, and it does. We'll talk about that at one point in time. But this is around the time when MySpace was kind of popping. I think MySpace started around 03. Dudes started uploading their albums. A lot of them dudes up there above the Red Sea, they were heavy into that. Anybody in Minneapolis will know. They were really heavy into putting MySpace. Some people was getting actually signed off of that. You know, MySpace was like our Instagram before. And it was different. Most of it was on the desktop. You really didn't do it on your phones. The phones weren't like how they are right now. So I'm just telling y'all, you know, I always say that I want to make this short. This story may not be short. I try to make them short, but I always got addendums and stuff like that. And then, you know, some of these things, man, that was going on, like there was some serious stuff going on in my life around that time. Like I know I'll be cracking a lot of jokes and I'll be adding all kind of extra flex on a lot of that stuff, you know, and making, you know, it be sounding overly exaggerated and over dramatized. But there was a lot of up and down emotions during these times. Some of these situations, were lethal. Yes. Some of these situations I could have lost my life over, you know, crashes and all kind of different stuff. And there's some things that I don't care to talk about on camera. They just got to be left in the archive and amongst my homies and the people that know me. You know, not everything needs to go on camera, but you know, like, you know, we do have to tell our stories. Hollywood does it. Everybody does it. And I decided that's something that I finally feel comfortable doing. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, now I get to bring them to life into the most hated application, or I'll say the most, I don't want to use the term hate, but y'all know my theories in terms on AI, yet I am being very hypocritical in doing so. So this story, I'll call the name, it'll be called Shonda. That's not why I named the story. That's not this person's name, but it was a lot of instrumental stuff that was going on. A person that actually, believe it or not, gave me a lot of confidence. You know what I'm saying? Around the time, on my come up, that looked past my shortcomings and looked past, me just, you know, cause sometimes when you want to come up and everything, folks be, you know, they'll be trying to knock you down and whatever like that. And I never had that issue. So I'll start this off with saying, I met Shonda, and before I say this, it wasn't, you know how most people's relationships is based off the physical aspect and stuff like that. It was a very, very strange dynamic. Very, very, not strange, like weird, but it was a very, very strange dynamic because, you know, you probably got one party that might be putting in a little more than the other. And what I mean is investing themselves, you know. So the thing is, you know, I'm on MySpace, I'm typing away. That's how people start meeting people. So this is a kind of a new thing and stuff like that. And I'm typing and I'm looking at pictures and I'm like, man, she look right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm, you know, I know how to talk and I'll be typing away and doing all this here. And so I'm just like, man, you can meet people online and you know what I'm saying? So, you know, nobody was sitting back thinking about if somebody was an serial iller. Nobody's not thinking about that. We probably should have. We really probably should have. But, you know, we going back and forth. And, I think knowing me, I probably told her I had some CDs for sale or something like that. Cause on Black Planet, I was big on that. Like, yeah, I'll holler at something, but I'm like, well, you know, I know they like music. So, you know, and I know they buy it. So that's the kind of time I was on. You know what I'm saying? And, I actually, believe it or not, I met some pretty good connections with people in the city, believe it or not, around that time because they were kind of doing the same thing. And then we just kind of So that'll be another story. I'll redo the planet story, but so we talking. I'm trying to run this as fast as I can without cutting stuff out to y'all while rambling too much. I'm trying. Y'all know y'all know I'm long-winded. So, I'm texting, we going back and forth. And then, how a lot of times in these times, like I say, it wasn't a whole bunch it was about who you were. And yeah, of course, there was power dynamic. There was definitely power dynamic, you know what I'm saying? If you was just completely nothing, but they was dealing with some of the nothing dudes. But we might be talking for weeks. It might have been 3 weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks or whatever like that.
In '07, I was holding down a little spot off Mini Haha, hoodie on, computer humming. MySpace was where the world happened, and that's where I met Shonda.
You still smiling at that screen?
Can't help it. A couple weeks of talking, and you still keeping me on my
decided to meet up, and we didn't meet up and go out. We just went to we went to her townhome.
My space got me feeling like a keyboard Casanova tonight.
Hey, you local? I'm Shonda. You should come kick it sometime.
Bet. Where you at?
Slide in, smooth talker. Don't scratch my paint.
Wouldn't dream of it. This ride's royalty.
She went to the townhome out in the well, I'll just say it was in the burbs. It was a south suburb. I'll say that. I guess it really don't matter. I can tell y'all, but I'm just, I know what it is. I got a keen memory. I'm starting to get old. Niggas starting to forget stuff now. I used to feel bad about forgetting stuff. I don't care about forgetting stuff no more. Cause I just ask my homies to remind me about something like, hey bro, tell me a story that I forgot. They'll just probably tell me something that I may not remember, because they know I'm going to know. So we kicking it, we hanging out, and we just talking. And it actually, after a while, it get kind of late. I start getting tired. So I just fall asleep. And don't nothing happen. And she's kind of like, I guess she kind of expected, like, it's past 10 o'clock. You know what time it is. And so she started kind of respecting it even more. Then she's like, hey, you don't want to, and I'm like, no, I'm still kind of, because I'm still, you got to think, I'm a tech person. So I'm sitting around when I was a kid watching little serial iller movies and all this kind of stuff. So I'm sitting like, man, it seemed like it's an okay situation. In the back of my head, I'm always thinking just extra, just goofy paranoid kind of stuff. So I think at the time where she stayed at, I said, well, now remember, at this point, I was on Mini Haha. So that was a big jump for me coming from the projects. You got to understand, we project niggas. We grew up around, I didn't live in Cedar Riverside the whole time, but I spent about 70% of my time there when I'm not in River Bluff at a certain point in my life. I'm up in there all the time. We sitting up in the pissy hallways and playing at Kurt Brian Coyle and running back to PDQ and fighting Somalians and all kind of, that's where we spent most of our time, bouncing from Cedar Riverside to Matthews Park. A lot of dudes, some dudes would go to PV and stuff. I didn't really mess with the Phillips neighborhood. But she dropped me off. Now I'm over here at the nonprofit, I'm working there, and I got to do a whole segment on that too. But at this time, I wrote some stuff down. I don't like doing this, y'all. I really don't like doing what I'm getting ready to do, but I wrote stuff down, and because I'm going to have to jog my memory a little bit. I don't know if that takes away from the story. Y'all don't like seeing no papers and all that, but I'm a journal guy. So usually I don't do this, but I'm gonna just do it to jog my memory. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. If y'all don't want to see that, remember, I work for y'all. So, yeah, I done forgot. Nigga getting old already. I done forgot already. So, I'm working I'm working $10 an hour. $10 an hour is what I'm making. I'm considered to be a subcontractor and stuff like that. So that's a whole thing. And man, I think she dropped me off at the Mall of America at the 180, and I just took the 180, and then you just walk a couple blocks down. You know what I'm saying? So to me, y'all gotta remember, the reason why I call this the Adventures of DP. Now I'm starting to think I might have a little autism or something a little off. I could kind of tell now as you get older, you could kind of see how your brain works psychologically and stuff. And I know that something's a little off. And I'm willing to admit that. I know something ain't right. Something's a little off. the way I be thinking and coming up with certain stuff, and just, I could tell something a little off. So everything was like a damn cartoon, like adventures. Like, I mean, I took stuff serious, but everything was a damn adventure. Literally everything was like a movie, or it felt like a movie or an adventure, just so I'm getting up, going to work. 1:80, she dropped me off at the 1:80. Eventually, I think she might have started dropping me off at work, but I think she always worked out of the suburbs, always kept a job, always kept a clean house, always was pretty good at managing money, because the places she used to stay, I'm like, damn, how much you paying for that? So I'm not really knowing if it's a section 42, or if it's just, I just see the optics is you living out here where ain't no trash on the ground, so to me, anything beyond where I'm at is like a super upgrade to just being among it. I wouldn't have went out there to places like Apple Valley, Shakopee, all these different kind of places that, eventually when I start driving, I start going around some of these places, but I kept it in the city a lot. So, I got my license at around late 07. Y'all know the Lumina story. Went on Lake Street, bought a piece of shit for $500 down. And then I think early 08 is when I got that Dodge Spirit. So we going to the movies, we kicking it, we doing the most and doing all this kind of stuff. And it kind of rapidly start kind of being.
That wasn't the best car chase of the year.
It was solid. And you didn't even spill the popcorn this time.
Character growth, right?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of growth, when you gonna stop just cruising with me? I'm gonna show you things you ain't never saw.
Is that a threat or a promise?
Thing where she's like, and I met her kids, and they were very well dressed, very, So she had two in the hole, she had two in the chamber. So, I don't really recall us doing anything with them, but I mean, I treated them, I acknowledged them, and I wasn't a jerk or nothing like that, So, but it seemed to me that, a lot of times but that's how I know she kind of trusted me. But then that made me a little kind of like, well, you don't really know me that much for me to bring me to your house with her, but maybe she just thought I was a kindred spirit or whatever. And maybe because I had my own spot and all that, a lot of dudes really didn't have their own spot. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, I don't know. So, but as I kind of thought, I was like, well, so we hanging out. One day we go
Hitting tonight, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Whole vibe.
Yeah, I see him looking over here. Yeah, you got you a bad yellow bra.
You wild. Told you a problem.
Go to the groceries or something, and then she kind of like grabbed my hand. So I'm still not invested like that. Like I'm still like, I like you, but I'm just not used to that. That's something that couples do. But it's not like I pulled away, but she kind of grabbed my hand and grabbed my arm. So in her mind, she's like, okay, this is a thing now. So I could tell as it goes on, and see, that's the thing, brothers. You got to understand this. Talking to the guys that's under 30 if you listen to the channel. I'll say your brain ain't developed yet. I'm talking to the guys that for 2 seconds, under 23. Your brain, if you're kicking it with a woman and you going out, you spending the night at her house, we all know what grown people do. We ain't got to be playing no damn games. Eventually they're going to be thinking like, okay, well, they get emotionally invested or whatever like that. You spend X amount of time.
Admire you so much. Keep boosting your confidence. You just need a bad broad. That's all. And that's yours truly.
Word. You said it.
Now they're like, all right, you owe me. Not necessarily money. You owe me some kind of investment. And logically, that makes sense, right? They're like, okay, well, I done gave my body. You know what I'm saying? I'm cooking. I'm doing these things or whatever. So in her mind, she's like, all right, this is something, I'm in my early 20s. You see what I'm saying? I'm kind of getting myself together a little bit. This ain't the time. This is a little before I start flipping cars and I really start kind of rolling. But she can see what I'm trying to do. She knows what I do. She's like, okay, because at this point in time, I'm still doing my CDs, my DVDs. I'm fixing computers. I got a job. You see what I'm saying? So I got a lot of stuff lined up and things are starting to get better for me, every 90 days. Yeah, every 90 days, things start to get a little better for me as far as my outlook on life and where things were going. You know what I'm saying? So she says, well, we need to kind of, get this, and so I'm like, well, I don't really want to, I didn't really want to get too deep, but she was kind of like, well, you kind of here, you know, and then so I drew back a little bit. And so she's seeing it. She's like, well, you know, what's the issue? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, well, I just don't want, you know, and see, that's why I told her, I said, that's why I didn't really want to do nothing out the gate, because you done brought me into your world, and I like you, and I know you like me a lot, but now you're invested a little more than me. She said, well, that's okay. I said, no, it's not. I said, because that's not fair to you. You know what I'm saying? So I said, well, I may have to just kind of dial back on the intimacy thing. That did not work, y'all.
We can go further. I trust you.
I don't usually do that.
You acting all scary like I'm gonna hurt you.
It's not that. I'm just cautious.
I'm gonna give you some time.
That went left. She's kind of like, man, oh, okay. He's turning it down. She's like, man, I got, you know, so now she's like, man, look, I really like this nigga now. So I'm like, man, I thought that wouldn't work. So, you know, I'm kind of trying to dial back. And I'm not, she's not giving me a reason not to kick it. You see what I'm saying? She's not giving me a reason not to kick it. I'm trying to make excuses because I want to focus so much on me and what I need to do and all this kind of stuff, to where I was like, well, I think things might get derailed. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I might get derailed, and I might, you know, 9 months later, well, I done drop one in. You know, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, I might derail myself from my grand plan. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like 20, I don't know. This is before the second shop, y'all. Remember, this is before Mini High Shop. I already had a failed shop. Well, my homies, we failed, but we won at the same time. Like, we had a shop, and the second shop, I said, okay, I'm gonna try to do things just a little bit differently. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't like a failure, but it was like a learning phase. So, man, so I'm trying to dial back a little bit or whatever, and then, you know, we kind of hanging out, and I'm kind of like, you know, I might go over there from time, you know, and so she's steady wanting to, you know, oh, I'm about to come pick you up. So now she coming all the way from way out there, coming at the apartment. And so I'm knowing, okay, now I'm coming to pick you up. We not about to play chess. You know what I'm saying? So, but she's still kind of like, well, damn, what is it? Like, why are you so, you know? And so I tell her, I said, man, I guess, you know, I don't really want to have no kids now, whatever like that. But, you know, we still hanging out, stuff like that. And, you know, and so, but it became kind of an issue because I'm still not giving in to myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm still, and so we sit down.
Who hurt you before, or if you got some underlying issues, but you got to stop this shit.
Stop what?
All that little wall you keep up, you got to open up. I ain't nothing like these other hoes.
Duly noted.
You at work?
Yeah, fixing the desktop. What's up?
Just checking to make sure you ain't crawling back in that shell.
Nah, I'm here. Shell's cracked. You did that.
I talked. She said, man, what is it? Like, this is like, you got to get rid of this shit. Like, you got some insecurities or some. She starts like, man, you got some broads that done did something to you. I know what it is now. She said, you got some broads that done did something to you, and you don't want to open up. And she said, you got to stop that shit. I'm not like these other hoes. Like, you know what I'm saying? So she's steady doing little stuff. And so she, you know, I want some CDs. I said, you know, I don't charge for no CDs. You go some hundreds or whatever like that. I'm like, oh man. So now I really ain't got no reason not to, you know.
500. I want some movies.
500. Shonda, you know I don't charge you.
I'm saying, so now it's steady being, cause you know, a lot of times once you start dealing with a woman, man, they ain't buying nothing else. You know, they like, hey, this is on the house. We rocking. So she doing stuff like that all the time and everything. And she's steady picking me up. And so, you know, like, it got to a point where, you know, she's like, man, let's go even deeper. Like, I trust you. And I'm kind of hesitant on that. She's like, you know, and y'all know what I mean by that. She's like, okay, no life raft. We just, and I'm like, oh, man, I don't really do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still kind of like, you know, man, I don't really do this. So now she's kind of offended at this point. And I understand, you know what I'm saying? Now she's kind of offended at this point, you know, but, you know, because now she's like, well, I trust you. We should no life raft. And I'm like, man, I'm not used to doing that. That's just not something I really be doing like that. So she's steady So now we kind of arguing a little bit. So one day, this is the turning point. This is the turning point. I'm asleep, and I got to get ready to go to work. So this had to have been like a Sunday. It had to be. It was some night. So she get the rummaging. I hear somebody rummaging through.
Hey, wake up! Whose drawers are these?
Huh? What drawers?
These. Found them in your dresser. Pink with little flowers. That ain't mine.
Baby, that's from way back.
My dresser, some shit like that. So she must have found something that must have, you know how like you got a dresser and you got clothes, and then you might have something in the back that might have fell on the other one so you didn't see. So it probably was like a pair of drawers or something from way back. And
Let me find out that bitch still around. Gonna be some furniture moving around this bitch. You hear me? Nah.
You
say
really
less.
hung up on me like that?
20 minutes later and I'm still hot. Don't play with me, DP. I pull up right now.
Shonda, you drive and breathe for me one time.
Keep playing, I'm gonna beat you and her both like y'all owe me rent. Don't test me.
Ain't no...
but I'm caught red-handed. Like, the evidence is there. This is a cold case. You convicted, nigga. Like, I'm caught. But it really wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? But the evidence is there. It don't matter. You still can be like, nigga, I caught you with your drawers down. She's like, who's this? Oh, man, she's going off. She's snapping. Man, hey, who is that B? Man,
You slick, huh? I'm over here clowning and you just sitting there like it's a comedy show.
I'll catch her and I'll beat the shit out of her. Man, I'll start turning furniture around and all this. And so she's just going off and off. And then she calmed down for a little bit. And then she's like, man, what else you got? She's like doing the FBI, rummaging through everything. Rummaging through everything. And then she starts looking at, she's like, oh, okay. What's all these extra ones? We don't, yeah, what? So she's looking at all this kind of paraphernalia, you know, that, and I'm like, I'm bewildered because I really didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But she's not trying to hear. She's like, nigga, you a foul ass nigga. You a grimy motherfucker. Like, she just going on and on and on. And now it's early in the morning now. She yelling, pacing back and forth. I could tell she wanted to hit me so bad. She's pacing back and forth. And her legs, she sat down for a minute. Her legs are shaking. You know how somebody's legs shaking like they want to do something for you. But they care for you so much they don't want to do it. They want to do it, but they don't want to do it. So she's just looking at me. She's like, nigga. And she just looking. She said, nigga, you really, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm still kind of thinking. So now I'm lightweight, kind of paranoid. Then I'm a little turned on a little bit. So I'm kind of like, okay, this she kind of crazy. Them light skinned girls crazy. All of them crazy. They crazy as hell. So she gets up, call her right now. There's nobody to call. There's no one to call. So she's like, call her. Stack my phone. Look at them. Hey, give me my damn phone. What the hell wrong with you? You don't pay my phone. So she comes front, give me back the phone. Man, call her. Call her over here right now. I'm a mollybop this hoe. There's nobody to call, Sean. She said, man, you know what? She said, I'm out. So she storms out the door. She storms out the door. But then she comes back in. She goes, and you know the money that I never wanted the money. She goes in there and she wants to take it back. She took it back. And left it. It was like 500 or it was 200-300 or 150 or something like that. I don't know how much it was, but she took back. She left my little money, but took back. I said, you be an Indian giver now. Nigga, you kiss my ass. So she kind of smirked a little bit because she's still pissed off. She goes out the door. I'm like, man. So now I'm feeling kind of bad, man. I'm like, I ain't got no cause to really be upset. You know what I'm saying? And so, now it's really funny, but I had this smirk on my face the whole time. So you look guilty. You just look like a guilty ass nigga. So now all that stuff she was saying, you grimy, this, that, and the third, I treat you with so much respect and so much honor and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, I said, this is overly invested. But so 15, 20 minutes later, I guess she's driving off. She says, I'm going to beat your ass and I'm going to beat that whole ass. Where she live? She's just going on and on and on and on for like 20 minutes straight. And, and stuff like that. So then she says something like, man, I will shoot that bitch in her face. I said, whoa. I said, okay, yeah, she likes me. Don't nobody do all of that. Don't nobody do all of that. So I'm like, oh man, I done dealt with a crazy person, man. This is the misery lady. So now I'm just a little paranoid because I'm like, man, she talking like, I said, man, so I'm like, all right, look, so we cool off for a little while. she calls me up, a couple days later, whatever like that. She's totally calm. She's so calm where it's kind of like it's scary. And I'm like, you still mad? She said, well, you did it. And I'm just like, I didn't do anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I'm taking it. After a while, I'm just like, man, whatever, man. She said, well, look, she said, you tell them little hoes. She said, let me tell you something, baby. If I find out, she said, what I deal with you now? She said, if I find out anything, she said, it's going to be some furniture moving around up in that joint. She said, I'm going to get on your ass and I'm going to get on that hoe. She said, if I come over there and I catch that hoe at your house, she said, I'm about to move some furniture. And so I'm joking. At this point, you accuse me of something I didn't do. So I'm like Rent-A-Center or the Loan Center, Loan Max. So I'm just being an asshole. So she's laughing now, like, man, but then, after a while, that kind of gave me my room or whatever. I thought.
I think you did this shit because you think I'm trying to trap you. I never ever showed you nothing but care and love. I'm sorry I felt hard over you, but this shit is too much. Why would you do this to me?
Just old clothes. That's all it is.
Old clothes? You wow. Anyway, 3 weeks later, I'm calling you, huh? Hey, D, I miss you. I'm going to take you out.
So we hang out again. Somehow we end up, it was later on or whatever, and I'm at my homie's house, and she comes by, and she wants to get some music or whatever like that. But then with the way she came in with these tight-ass pants and...
What's up, big dog?
What's good, Shonda? You found it easy?
Yeah, right where he said. He was probably watching from the window, making sure I park straight. He don't want to get too serious because he knows I'm going to put it on him and he going to lose his damn mind, and I will.
Yeah? You better keep her, bro. She a good one.
Man, y'all wild.
Hair long and did and everything. I don't know if it was a wig back then or what. I didn't give a damn. I don't know. But she came in and she came in like, and I'm trying to act all nonchalant and all this. And so my homie's there and he was like, hey, what's going on, Shonda? He's like, yeah. He said, yeah, you tell that nigga that bitch gotta go. Like, she's just going in and just saying stuff and saying, yeah, she don't do what I do and all this here. And just, I was like, man, this is ratchet as hell. I ain't used to this type of shit. This is a lot of drama. You know what I'm saying? And so, she said, yeah, you tell him, see, he's scared. She said, he said, your homie's a scary ass nigga. That's what she told me. Yes, she told my homie, she said, yeah, your homie's a scary ass nigga. Yeah, he laughing like, he's like, yeah, he's scared. He's scared. He said, I ain't never met a nigga this damn scared. So she's just talking shit. She said, you know what he's scared of? She said, he knows I'm gonna put that business on him. And he ain't gonna
Type like you defusing a bomb, boy. He think that keyboard gonna run off if he don't keep it in check.
Let me find out I can have you fed, fresh, and front row in life. I treat you right, DP. Here for your coffee.
don't know what to do. So now she's steady talking about, like he just thinks it's funny. He's like, hey man, you might have a good one. She said, yeah. She said, I bet a hoe can't do this. And so then she dropped some money off, get some CDs. She said, yeah, I bet he can't do this. I bet a hoe won't take you out. So she's just going on and just, doing just the most of stuff. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take you out to eat. You know what I'm saying? Maybe get you a little hotel or something. Like she just, so he's like, she said, you gotta ride. So he's saying, but at the same time, kind of like, she's like, yeah, he's scared. She's like, yeah, he's scared. He don't want to fall in love or whatever like that and so stuff. So, and I ain't gonna lie. I sure was. I at that point, I was trying to, like I said, my money wasn't where I wanted to be. So
She getting on my nerves, bro.
Let me see her pic, bro.
Hold on.
Damn, folk, boy, you tripping. Let me get her if you don't want her.
You funny.
I'm serious, G. Quit playing with that.
Man, you wild.
For real, you finna lose blessing.
Nah, I'm good, bro.
in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I knock somebody up, the hell am I gonna do? But with her, she's like, we could build something. I wasn't thinking about that at that time. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I was immature or whatever. I was, I was like, okay, I don't really have a whole lot to offer you right now, whatever, but you got to think this is somebody that already has 2 kids. So she's measuring me off the last 2 niggas. Like, okay.
I ain't no overclass hoe. Play some of that do or die. Matter of fact, play me some Pimpin' Man.
You wild, Shonda. All right, I got you.
Don't play with me.
Never that. Watch this. Smooth cruise music just for you.
Now you talking.
Okay. The last 2 were probably bums or something. Because when I kind of start kind of looking into her and stuff like that and kind of finding out, and you know, at one point she started kind of getting into all kind of trouble and stuff. It's like when she stopped dealing with me, she started getting into all kinds of shenanigans with her friends, and they were just doing all kind of different stuff. And I kind of looked into a little bit of it, and I'm like, man, this girl done been into a shootout.
Been in a real shootout? I'm talking movie level, heart in your throat kind of mess.
Can't say I have.
19-year-old me? We were riding Tanya's old Impala, windows down. These girls start yapping. Next thing I know,
that was like one of her charges or something like that. So, like, but I didn't blame her on that, and I didn't even tell her I knew. I was just like, well, you know, you were probably just with some grimy ass nigga, got knocked up by him or something like that or whatever.
I'm saying back then it was wild. Friday night at the park, somebody blinked wrong in its own. I was out there ducking behind cars, returning fire like a movie. Folks still talk about it.
Damn, you really was gonna shoot me.
I love you, but do not play with me. I get it in.
So I didn't judge her off of that, but I still got to put that in my file. Come on now. I still got to put that in my file, y'all. So, you know, after a while we start kind of, you know, we still hang out, we in and out, you know, kind of back and forth hanging out.
I still got it.
You look like you practicing for a sitcom intro.
Boy, hush.
You gonna trip over my rug.
Then you gonna catch me, right?
We'll see.
Yo, what's good, Trouble?
Hey, big head.
I've been thinking, I'm gonna take you out.
Need some love too.
Oh, yeah? You finally ready to spoil me?
I'm gonna start acting like.
And, you know, she would always kind of tell me like, you know, I'm here, you know, but she never treated me bad. She never.
I should pull over in the alley and give you that hurricane special. Hell, baby. I'm dead ass. Close your eyes.
One day, that was the person when I got.
Now I'm taking you out to eat, and I'm gonna double back.
Got to a serious car crash with one of my homies, and that's around the same year I got diabetes. She was trying to look for a car because she had a Cadillac. She was trying to sell me the car.
Oh, I'm kind of over this car, D. I'm ready to let it go. You can have it for like $500.
500? That's like a month's worth of lattes. What you hiding under this hood, a winning ticket?
Boy, stop. I'm serious. I'm tired of hearing that rattle every morning.
Sounds like you just trying to pass the rattle
It
to
still
me.
got heat and a working radio. What else you need?
And the heater core was out. You know, so that's why I bought it. But I didn't want to pay for premium gas. See, I was a cheap ass. My little bread away in my ducker so I could drop me an old school and throw some Blake 350. I'm just going to be honest. Show off a little bit. I felt I deserved it. That's what niggas do. Niggas show off in front of niggas.
You out to eat and have your tombstone dead after the end of the night. What's happening? I ain't playing.
You talking like a headline and dessert in one sentence? Where you trying to take me?
Wherever you let me. I'm thinking that soul food spot with the candle.
So that's what I was trying to do, man. And so, you know, like, so around that time, that was like July, August, 08. Remember, the shop had just closed with Stack Doe and LT. I want to do that story. I'm gonna check back with Stack Doe and that, cause there was a story in that too when they got into a whole huge big thing. I said, man, bro, I ain't gonna tell that story. I'll leave it out. But if he wants me to tell it, I'm gonna tell that shit because that shit was funny as hell. Oh, y'all niggas laughed about my hard drive. Yeah, y'all was cracking up about my hard. I almost had
All right, track exported. Just got a copy to the drive and we're. Well, no, my drive. Ha, y'all laughing. This is my whole vault right here.
Nervous breakdown. I felt like I was literally having a breakdown. Yeah, they was laughing about my hard drive. I should be able to laugh about their little argument. Them niggas was going off. Oh, his hard drive is his girlfriend. I'm like, nigga, you don't understand. I got everything on this hard drive. They was laughing about my hard drive. But anyway, you know, I don't know. Video, you know. So, we driving around St. Louis Park, just looking for cars. We're just looking for cars because she had money. I ain't gonna lie. She kept a bag. She kept a bag. She kept herself done. She kept her, like, everything that a dude would have wanted in his early 20s around that time, far as the mind frame. For the most part, she was a little ratchet, but she kind of had some sense about herself. You could tell when she gets around certain folk, she just get off kilter. So we driving around. I'm at the stoplight. Boom! Big ass 05 Suburban hits me. I'm like, damn, I was in that 92 Dodge Spirit. The one where I kept hustling all my desktops to get out of that Lumina and go buy that for $1,100 when New York. I got to do another New York story. Y'all write that down in the comments. New York story. Bookmark that for me. So, we riding around, get hit by the 05 Suburban or whatever. Drunk ass.
Back in 92, they built them right. She's still cruising.
You really call this your time machine?
Better than a DeLorean, girl.
Y'all silly.
Oh, damn!
Whoa.
Everybody good?
That's white lady comes out. Remember, I'm out of my mind because that diabetes is messing with me. I don't know what's going on. So I still had some of the symptoms. St. Louis Park police come.
Y'all okay back there? She came out of nowhere.
I'm a next type, but I'm
What
straight.
about you, big dog?
She hit me in the ribs, man. I'm good, though.
License and registration. You realize you stopped short back there?
I didn't stop short, officer. She ran into me.
What y'all doing around here? All this acting real rambunctious, man. Very treated us real bad. Blamed us for the accident. We were the one that got rear-ended. The white lady come out. She looked drunk. Oh, you know, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm like, damn, is she drunk? You gonna test her for drinking? So then he says, oh, you know, he's asking all these questions. They all got drugs. You got this little buzz cut. He looked like Brock Lesnar, but like a thinner Brock Lesnar and a shorter, but he had the buzz cut. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm like super Street Fighter Guile face ass. Like he had the guy, he looked like Guile. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't have the Guile cut, but he just looked like big, strong, big, super, big patriotic face ass nigga. He was just extra strong and patriotic. Looked like he could put an anchor on his back. I'm like, get your strong ass. So I don't even think he wrote me a ticket. The back end, you couldn't put nothing in the trunk. So my 212s, I couldn't get them out. You know what I'm saying? So I had to ride home. You know what I'm saying? We drove to the Southdale Mall Hospital. They should have kept me there. My neck was messed up. My homie was kind of messed up. I don't know. He stayed in the area. I don't know how he got home. I don't even remember. I think I dropped him off. And then, I think me and her just went to my house or something.
Man, I ain't even feeling right, Sean.
You don't look it. Let's get you home.
Need to grab some medicine?
Nah, I just need a minute. Lights out, too. Forgot to pay that bill.
Then we'll make our own light. Here, take this.
Sip slow.
Appreciate you.
Now, around this time, I was still transitioning a little bit. So things were a little up and down as far as like my light bill. So she's like, you want me to pay the light bill? I wouldn't accept it. So she's kind of mad. Like, man, you need lights. So my light went off for just a few weeks or whatever. So multiple people tried to help me and I just wouldn't accept it because I felt like I shouldn't have let that happen. Me prideful again. So around this time, I had the worst symptoms of diabetes. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was sick. And she lit candles and stayed with me, man, and made sure I was okay. I went back to work like that next day or whatever, that next couple of days or whatever. I ended up in the hospital after that. But she stayed. She stayed with me and basically, and she didn't judge me. I didn't have hardly no food in the fridge. I kept drinking orange juice. I ain't had no water. I should have had water. That was making my sugar probably going even worse. I didn't even know what was going on with me because I was sick. And I almost died going to that hospital when I finally was working downtown. And I drove myself to the hospital, man, on Lake Street. And then I drove myself to, not the hospital, but the clinic that burned down. The one that let me drive to Fairview Hospital over there by Devani's on Riverside. They should have sent an ambulance when they checked my sugar. They didn't. They let me drive about that motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? Medical apartheid, damn near. That's like medical genocide. It ain't apartheid. That's like medical genocide. You just let a nigga just leave. After he's telling you these things, I can't explain to you what's going on. You check my sugar and you let me go. Man, I got up in that hospital and I'm in there for like a whole week. They said my sugar was like 1200 or 9. It was something crazy. Like I ain't supposed to be here after something like that. I mean, I'm supposed to be here, but that, you don't come back from that. So, we kind of kept in contact over the time, even when I had to shop.
You got the most hustling ass man I know.
Somebody's got to keep the city awake.
Damn, that turns me on.
Say less.
Where was you before I had 2 baby daddies? Ha!
Probably taking the scenic route to you.
Boy, you stupid.
I don't remember. She didn't really come into the second shop. I don't think I was, I don't know how much contact we had. I don't even think she came into the shop. I don't think she came into the shop. And I think if we would have been in more contact around that time, she probably would have came in there trying to spend some money, basically trying to just put me back on the team. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? But it would be like on and off through the years. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think the initial time we had met it might have been, it had to have been like 07 or something like that. And we just kind of kept in contact. And, every now and then, you know what I'm saying? Every now and then she'd come by, she'll be, I want to take you out or whatever like that. Like at one point, I guess, we kind of got into it a little bit and she said, yeah, I'm going to come at you like these nigga. I'm taking you out and then when you coming back and I'm slamming, she be doing little stuff like that. She gets funny stuff, you know what I'm saying? And, And so, you know, like she was, I wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to that kind of, you know what I'm saying? So that's before I met Mina. You know what I'm saying? That in the Mina story. So these were instrumental people in my story. That's why I'm telling it. So I have to tell it how it happened. Regardless of how people feel, I got to tell it how it fucking happened. You know what I'm saying? She was a little bit more advanced than Mina when it came to things because she had a lot more get up and go. You know, Mina really didn't work too much, but, you know, she had things she had to take care of. But, you know, like, she was a worker. She was like a super workaholic. Like, she always kept a job. She kept a bag. You know, she always have, it'd be something with a car because she probably wouldn't take care of it. And let me tell y'all something, man. Every broad that stopped dealing with me after me dealt with bums. I'm for real. Sometimes I used to hear like if it's somebody that I'm talking to and I see their mama again, she be like, man, after you, it went downhill. She was a bum ass nigga. She should have just kept you. Yeah, I remember one time a lady's mama was like, man, shit, I would have told my daughter to keep you and the hoe. You know what I'm saying? She'd be better off a side rather than a main to a bum. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, wow, the game is twisted because even with Shonda, her attitude was kind of like, if you're talking to somebody or whatever, like, man, tell that hoe to move aside. There was no honor. They didn't care. I used to always think it was a girl code and all that. Man, please. If they see something they like and they feel like it's a better deal, they will drop you like a bad habit and go with a better deal. I didn't understand power dynamic. I was doing that shit. I was living in that power in that world. But every person after me, it was because I could kind of tell whenever I talked. I said, man, like one day they were stealing license plates or something like that. Her friends and the stuff that people she was around, I said, okay, you ain't got no guidance. Because I would have told her not to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, I could kind of see the downward spiral. And, you know, years later, it was just sad, man, because you see this fruitful, boastful, or this lively person, and then they just kind of turn into, you know what I'm saying, like the criminal world and just going in and you know, like they just look like, you know what I'm saying, just going in and out of jail and just not looking good. You know what I'm saying? And I really don't like seeing people like that. You know, when it's somebody that you know, especially you've been around or if you've cared for, if you have a heart, you're not going to want to see them like that. But that's not my job. You know what I'm saying? To handle it. You know what I'm saying? That's not my job. You know, to fix that. You see what I'm saying? I have a family. I can't fix that. But, you know, I can't help but because you got to think this is someone that had helped me get to certain places. Like when, you know, there was times where, you know, like, and I never, and it was a situation where she hated that. She was like, man, if you need something, you know, I'm going to look out for you and you don't.
Up to West River Road by North, trying to keep it steady. Man, this bug's still hanging on me. Shonda, though, she held it down. Sat there with me, lights off, whole world quiet. She a rider for real. I still feel.
Never reach out. You know what I'm saying? You know I'm going to take care of you.
You don't feel like you can commit. I can be the side woman if need be, but just know I ain't leaving. DP, I have always loved you and always will.
You already know.
You know, so it was kind of weird for me to hear a woman say, I love you. I've always loved you. And when she told me that, that kind of took me aback too. You know what I'm saying? And me and it said the same thing. Like, I love you. I'm not used to saying that without meaning it. I show it, but I don't just say that. Sometimes a lot of dudes would tell women, well, I love you.
So why ain't met your mama yet? You met mine.
Because we was never a concrete item. I didn't want my mom to meet you if I wasn't really serious.
Mm-hmm.
My mom don't play about that.
Guess I can't be mad at that.
I didn't tell women I love you. I've told one woman that. One. I've never told a woman that. I don't tell them that unless I got love for you. And they'd be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? You don't love me too? But see, I'm a person that shows it. I love in action. You see what I'm saying? Oh, I love my homies. We'll never snake your homies. That's not something that's on my jacket. You see what I'm saying? So like, it was somewhat kind of turbulent because I felt bad because, see, here's the thing. You came in with a pure heart. I didn't come in with a tarnished heart, but I could not give you what you wanted me to receive. Bars. I couldn't give you what you wanted me to receive.
I could put you in an old school too.
You gave, but I couldn't give that because I had to tell you, look, I don't want to, I didn't want to get too close. But she's like, so you got to understand, brothers, when you do that, and now you spend X amount of time, movies, this, that, and let's say it would have got to a point where okay, now we taking trips on. That's it. That's it. You don't do that. It's like, okay, there's nothing wrong. You're everything that I wanted, but you won't let me have you.
I'm so invested, and I know you are about me, and you look out for me every time I call. I don't know what the problem is. Was it the having a family thing?
I ain't ready.
And I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? That's how I kind of looked at it, because I was so entrenched into my hustle and grind and my time machines that I wanted to live a life. I wanted to be free. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was.
You know, I was raised Catholic. I don't believe in abortions.
Yeah, I feel you. I think I'm so used to being busy, I want to keep my apartment.
Well, let's get this shit going. I'ma always be here.
Thinking I wanted to be free. I don't want nobody bugging me and blowing up my phone, all that. They was doing that anyway, but I don't want all of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I was living. And especially when I had my store, you got to think, now I'm seeing, picks and chooses, like, oh, deal with no beluga whale. Well, I ain't got to deal with crazy or whatever like that. I said, man, there's something right. It's a lot of, I ain't got to do nothing. If I got to be grind, tolerate nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'll just be on my grind and get focused on me. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody comes along that I like and I want to invest my time, I'm going to invest my time. If I don't want to invest my time, I ain't going to invest my time.
I know it was you. Nobody ever did this for me.
Baby, anything after me will be janky, baby. Enjoy.
You know what I'm saying? So, but after a while, over time, if a woman is looking, if you're looking out for a woman and you ain't never really, not necessarily telling her no, but if sometimes she'll call, because even after that, like there was a time where eventually she ended up dealing with some dude, and and then ended up getting pregnant or whatnot, and I guess she seen me again somewhere, and she seen me with somebody. She was so damn mad, and like later on she called me up and she said, man, shit, you could do better than that. Like,
yo, Shonda, what's good?
Boy, that broad I saw you with last month, she ain't your type.
You keeping tabs on me now?
Somebody gotta. I call it how I see it. I know you could do better.
Better, huh? You sound like my conscience, but I hear you.
She said, damn, like, but that's how she was thinking. She was like, okay, that ain't your type. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of like, it is what it is. But by that time, now she's dealt with
Always find the chillest spots.
Gotta keep you guessing. Hello, Shonda?
Yeah, it's me.
Man, what you keep doing this, Shonda?
I picked the wrong guys and I can't get steady.
A certain caliber of dudes. So, one day, I remember one time she came pick me up and I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Come see you first thing.
I see you shining, free woman.
I'm too going through it, but here, 500. Take it.
Hold up, you just got out.
Don't start that.
I just feel wrong,
I don't
Shonda.
care what's going on. You call me. I'm dropping whoever.
what about, but there was no baby daddy drama. None. Absolutely none. There was none of that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't tolerate that anyway. But, so yeah, hopefully Shonda's doing all right, y'all. And, like I said, man, I mean, this is going to be, it's 42 minutes. So this is going to, I almost did an hour, but as they say, this video is going to be, it's going to be like, it's going to be like the last one. It's going to be like the last one. I'm going to start dropping these late nights. Somebody made a joke like, man, this is the late night BET Uncut. I'm going to start dropping them late nights. But, yeah, so that was my life. So I'm going to cover people from my life. And we gonna do it like that. So the next story we gonna do, I think I uncovered the South High joint. Try to cover that again real quick. Just make a real snippet. This one gonna be like 3 months. I mean, so I got a lot of videos and stuff. So okay, let me stop, man. Shit. We gonna get down and dirty.